What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So right before work, I wanted to get this video out because I don't want to wait too long in getting this video out. So the 2023, the 11th generation Honda Civic Si has been revealed a few days ago from Honda, and it is up in the air right now. There are 80% of you that are like so mad about it, and then like the other 20 are like, no, let's just let it come out. Let it play out. Let's see where the snowball's gonna hit. Like, let's just see how it's gonna play out. I'm just gonna read this straight from the internet, from the information. Talk about the style, the features, the power, the price. Now, to start off with the features of this car, like I mentioned before, I'm gonna read this straight from my phone. That way I don't butcher anything and leave anything out. The 11th generation 2022 Honda Civic Si is the best handling and most fun to drive Civic Si ever. It's going to come out with a better power curve. Drivers can expect to see peak torque 300 RPM sooner than the 10th gen Civic Si. Improved exhaust note due to dual coil silencer. Okay. New drive mode for a customized driving experience. Lightened single, this is the one that got me. Lightened single mass flywheel, 26% lighter than the 10th gen's heavy dual mass flywheel. I think that's a good thing. But just talking about the word lightened, this clutch already is light as it is, and it feels lifeless. It might have to do because of the dual mass flywheel, but the fact that they're going to be going to a single mass flywheel, it might make a difference right there, especially with the catch point, the shifting, just the overall feel. This is something that I actually liked. It's actually going to be coming with rev matching system from the FK8 Civic Type R. So I'm excited to see how it's going to actually play out on the SI of this factor. An updated manual transmission, that could just mean a lot of things right there. Retuned suspension, okay. 60% stiffer steering system, torsion bar, okay. Improved body stiffness, alright. Wider rear track and longer wheelbase. Okay, well, this one, I don't think it's gonna affect me at all, and a good amount of you guys out there, because what's the first thing we do when we get these cars? We swap out the wheels and tire package. Like, it's just to get a better stance, get better grip, get better, just an overall better tire compound in general. Beefier compliance bushings. Okay, so overall, listening and hearing all of these features that they're bringing into the Si, it's pretty good. It doesn't seem like it's a bad package at all. If you are one that loves the 11th generation Civic, you're gonna love this Si. Like, it's gonna probably be for you. This one's gonna be more toned down, and we're talking about the style. Like, dude, let's look at some pictures together. And in all honesty, one thing that I'm very disappointed in this Civic is it looks like a Civic. It doesn't look like an Si. It doesn't stand out. The only thing that I see different from the Sport model versus the Si model is the dual muffler and the Si badging. That's really all I see. Like, they look very similar. The color reveal of these cars, they're gonna look really good. But like, looking at that exhaust in the rear, like, what the hell is that? Like, that just does not sit right. I wish they would have taken a picture of the muffler itself just to actually see where the muffler like is actually at, because that's just the exhaust tip right there. Looking at the interior shot where the shifter is, I'm not gonna lie, Acuity and or Hybrid Racing are gonna be doing really well with this brand, because looking at the interior shot of where the shifter is, and like, I know it sounds stupid, but that shifter just does not look like it belongs right there. The front of the car doesn't look too bad, but like I said, it does look like a regular Civic. Like, I wouldn't be able to know if it was an Si unless I saw the Si badge. It looks like they swapped out the grille a little bit better, so it does have that honeycomb grille. There are holes right next to the Si, so I'm going to assume that's where the horn is going to be probably. The headlights do look really good on this car. I do like how it is black housing to make it look a lot more sportier. The fact that they chose to stick with black wheels from factory, it's a good for them. The black wheels from the 2020 model do look a lot better than the 19 and previous. Little spoiler in the rear. Okay, now this is where I'm getting my issue is. The rear of the car looks just like a mini Accord. I'm not even considering the Jetta memes or the Cruise memes. It looks like an Accord. It looks more for adults, if I'm being quite honest. Like, it was definitely toned down. It looks like it'll blend in really well with society. But at the end of the day, it's a Civic. It's gonna sell. It doesn't matter what people think about it. Like, they're gonna sell, right? Whether you like it or not. Look at how the 10th gen was when they first came out. Everybody was so mad and sad about it when the 10th gen came out because of the engine size and because and blah, blah, blah. But we finally got a turbo in the car, but it still pushed the same horsepower. But these turbos were proven to have a significant amount of torque from factory stock-wise. And it was pretty good from the 10th gen. So I can only imagine how it's gonna be when PRL, 271, Hybrid Racing, Acuity, and RV6, just to name a good amount right there, on how they're gonna tackle the performance orients of this vehicle. Now talking about the performance, 200 horsepower and 192 foot-pounds of torque. I'm not gonna say I've been very disappointed, because that is a very, very understatement, and it's just Honda. What the heck? Everybody, including me, was expecting, oh, they're gonna turn up the boost a little bit. I had a feeling they weren't gonna swap out the L series engine because it's doing so well, stock-wise and aftermarket-wise. Like, it's been proven to be pretty good. Not as good as a K or B series, but they've been proven to be pretty good in the aftermarket support, in the aftermarket world. But getting back to it, 200 horsepower. Everybody, including myself, was thinking they were gonna probably do like 215, 220. The new BRZ and the 8.6 got revealed, and they're pushing what, 232 horsepower from at the crank. So I was expecting them to be like, okay, cool, we're gonna push it up to 230 at the crank. Let's keep it up right there, just because that's what people want to hear. Like, people want to see numbers. It's been proven that you can actually push out a little bit more horsepower from this car. When I got my Furtable Stage 1 tune, the Map 1, which is 19 PSI, I feel like that's how it should have came from factory. You know, swap out the turbo, give it a better breathing, give it a better intake system, something in the fact to give it better response and a little bit more power from factory without necessarily swapping out the tune too much in that aspect. Because look, I know it's a 4-cylinder, it's a 1.5 4-cylinder turbo. I get it, they're not meant for power. But the audience and the customers, the fan base, they wanted it to compete with the GTI. They wanted it to compete with the 8.6. And it is going to compete with those cars. But just in the number form, people wanted to see that happen. And I feel like Honda did miss that aspect right there. I know you can tune the car. You can swap out for performance. You can do this. Not everybody wants to tune their car. Not everybody wants to add an intake. Not everybody wants to add an exhaust. Like, I'm hoping when it comes out, the exhaust does sound a little bit better, because the stock exhaust to a 10th gen was pretty bad. I don't know why they decided to go with an HDMI accent and give the hatchback Sport actual muffler system that looks good from factory. So I don't know what made them think that an HDMI accent was actually pretty good on the 10th gen. But I'm hoping with the new exhaust system, it's gonna sound a lot better from factory. I can see myself with one. It looks good as a daily aspect vehicle for a stock form. So we talked about the style, we talked about the features, we talked about the power, and the power is not really that well. But the price, they are saying it's going to be around $26,000. The internet, Honda, PRL, everyone's speculating it's going to be around $26,000. That's going to be around the same aspect of the 2020 model. Keeping that in mind, there are a lot of you guys that are going to say, I got my 2018 Civic Si 23K out the door. Well, yeah, that was what, 4 years ago? You were able to get 2017, 18, and 19 a lot cheaper than the 2020 model. When you're comparing the previous model to the 2020 model, it's a completely different car. It has different suspension, it has touring headlights, it has different gear ratios, it has Honda sensing, a lot more premium features that Honda added. Because look, I know they wanted to, I know they were looking into giving it more of a luxury feeling. These are awesome features that you guys are giving the competition, but with the power wise, it's not gonna be enough. I feel like if they want it to sell a lot more, because here's the thing, it's an SI, it's gonna sell. It's gonna sell regardless of if you buy it or not. I feel like they need to start it at 24.5, at least right there, because of the power numbers. When you're looking at something at 26, then if you're from California, state tax, registration fees, and all the other miscellaneous stuff, you're looking at like around a little bit over 30,000 out the door. If you're financing for a Civic, that's a lot. Pricing wise, they need to lower it. I'm hoping dealerships do not mark it up significantly like they did the 2020 models. Because if you try to get a 2020 SI model right now, 2020 or 2021 Civic Type R right now, they're just, it's ridiculous. Just a really quick recap of comparing it. I'm only gonna go as back as the 8th gen. I don't want to get too much into it, but comparing the 11th generation from the 8th gen, as you guys realize, the power wise, it's kind of been the same. The 8th gen stock came with 197 horsepower. 9th gen came with 201 horsepower, and I think after like the refresh, it came out to be like 205 horsepower. The 10th gen came out with 205 horsepower. The 11th generation came out with 200 horsepower. Horsepower wise at the crank, it is very similar. Nothing's changed. But when you look at the torque, the engine sizes actually went bigger and then back to small. The 8th generation had the K20, the high revving K20. The 9th generation had the K24, which gave out a lot more torque. 10th generation actually went down to a 1.5 liter turbo, but it is the most torque produced Civic Si from factory. And it's a turbo. The 11th generation is using the same engine from the 10th gen with less power, but a better torque curve. So it looks like this whole time Honda's been trying to improve the torque curve for these cars. And unfortunately, when it had less torque, you were able to rev these cars out so much, up to 8,000 RPMs, 9,000 RPMs. With built engines, you can go up to 10,000 RPMs. Like, it's crazy how much you were able to rev these to the moon. As you guys saw how much it progressed over time, the red line started going down, but the torque curve started going up. So now we have Hondas with like a tuned Honda, a fully bolt-on tuned Honda, just with basic bolt-ons and a tune. 240 wheel horsepower and like 280 wheel foot-pounds of torque. That is a lot coming out of a 1.5 liter. That is not bad at all. The only difference is that because there's so much more torque coming from factory, the clutch does not hold. Honda was never used to having this much torque from factory. And it's not that the 10th gen Civics have bad clutches, it's the fact that they're pushing more torque than the previous models, to where you need to swap out the clutch a lot faster, because the clutch is being held down by torque numbers, not by horsepower numbers. I did reach out to you guys on Instagram, and we're just gonna go ahead and read a couple of the comments that you guys were talking about it, because I did want to talk about this before. So, needs more power. It does need more power, but I'm sure a tune's gonna fix that. But unfortunately, like I said before, not everybody wants a tune. It looks like a Corolla, it looks like any other car brand actually, but not a Honda. You're right. It looks like that's why I mentioned it looks like it's gonna blend in right well. It's not gonna stick out as much. Too basic, lame. 1.5 turbo should bring back high revving motors. Unfortunately, we are at that part to where I don't think they're gonna bring back the naturally aspirated high revving motors, because these 1.5 liters are doing really well. I don't hate it, but I'm not in love either. 10th gen's greater. Okay? People complaining about the 10th gen's aggressiveness. Now we got a basic sedan. That is actually true. When the 10th gen came out, everybody was saying it's too aggressive. It looks too boy racy. It looks like, look at the Type R. You know it's a Type R, you know it's not a basic Civic. It's going to be just as good performance-wise to a 10th gen with much nicer interior. That's a solid point. And that's why I was telling you, give it some time. I'm pretty sure you're gonna fall to love it. I actually like how it looked. There's been rendering pictures of it when it's like lowered with HFP, side skirts, front lip, aftermarket wheels, and it looks pretty good. But because it's coming from the 1.5 liter, guys, look how much power these 1.5 liters are being capable of pushing, and you're being fine. So that's actually a good aspect. It's going to be just as good performance-wise as a 10th gen, but with much nicer interior. That's a good way to put it. It looks okay, but not better than 10th gen coupes. Needs lip, side skirt, and to complement the spoiler. You know, you're right, but that goes back to saying it looks like a basic sedan. Disappointed in power output, as the other upgrades don't... doesn't look good enough. Okay. Doesn't look good enough to upgrade to the 11th generation. Okay, I'll give you that. But I do love the interior, as do I. Hoping there's an SI coupe. Coupe's gone, guys. Not gonna happen anymore. Honestly, I'm not that excited about it. It looks pretty much exactly like the sedan. Yeah, it looks like a basic Civic sedan. Bro, 200 horsepower. At least they tuned it for more higher end and low end torque. That is true. So we're gonna go ahead and see what an actual tune from Faribault or TSP does to this. I actually dig the styling cues and appreciate that it only comes in a sedan. Unfortunately, I'm a coupe guy, guys, and I feel like they could have still kept the coupe going, but oh well. Nice interior front end, reminds me of a Turtle. Let's see how it drives. Yeah, let's just see how it drives. Honda really stepped up the game. See, so somebody actually really liked it. Getting Jetta and Audi vibes with some X-Gen Accord in there as well. Okay. I'm a little disappointed in power numbers, okay? I think it looks good, but it's not going, but maybe not going to outperform the 10th gen. It's the same engine, guys, with a better tune from factory and the torque curve. It's probably gonna outperform it. I'm already telling you that right now. Trade in, fool. Honestly, Honda did a good job with redesigning. Wish they did flat bottom wheel. I'm probably gonna keep my coupe. They're probably gonna make a facelift or make it give it more aggressive version later. You're probably right. Disappointed, same engine but different tune, lower horsepower, 10th gen better. Okay. Sports sedan. Yeah, I think it's pretty dope. People are hating on it a lot. I would like to understand why, but it's new. Looks very boring in my opinion. I wish it looked more aggressive. I dislike that it's 200 horsepower, but I like that it has more power, or at least RPMs, and it holds more power. Okay. From reading some of your guys' comments, it's all about the power. Everybody's talking about the power, the power, the power. So only time will tell, guys. I don't want to stretch this video out too long, but that's going to be it for today's video. When it comes out, I am going to be looking into test driving it just so I can get a better understanding of it. And I'll be reaching out to you guys and see if anybody else got it, copped it, that are here located in Southern California, that we can go in and understand this car a little bit better. Now we're just waiting for the Type R reveal. Honda, please. I hope Honda does not mess up the Type R. I do like the 10th gen Type R, so I'm hoping the 11th generation Type R does not look too basic. But only time will tell. Anyways, guys, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. It does help your boy out. And I'll see you guys in another video. You guys have a good day. Peace.